Hi, welcome to Ultimate Home Poker. I'm Pete.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Mike, and today we're going to talk about the role of the dealer. Very important, right, fellas?
Maestro of the
Absolutely.
table.
Right, especially in our group. You know, there's a lot of groups that play one game all night long. We started that way. I might play Hold'em all night long. But in our group, we play, we bring 60, 70, 80 different games are available in our poker group. So the role of the dealer becomes even more important. When you're dealing a game, you need to know this game inside and out. You need to be able to explain it to everybody in a way that folks understand, and people need to know how is the game won. Especially when you get into, is it a split pot game? Is it high-low, high-only, whatever it may be. It's really important, especially later on in the night when you get some bigger pot games. People just need to know the rules. So that's a really important part of the role of the dealer. We all have our favorite games that we usually bring, but again, part of the fun with our group is that there's such an assortment of games out there, and you can find them on our website. The dealer becomes really critical. So, other things you want to talk about?
one of the important things, obviously, is making sure that the ante is right on the table. Two schools of thought on that. One is that everybody antes. You know, we found over the years that becomes kind of annoying because there's always somebody that doesn't ante. Pot's never right. You know, especially later in the game, and so. To save time, basically, we have the dealer ante always. Everybody else gets their cards, and then the betting begins after that. Important rule for us is to make sure that before a card hits the table, Steve, that there's an ante in there, because if there isn't,
It's a penalty.
it's a penalty,
Absolutely.
and now it costs you twice as much. The other thing, before you actually deal out the cards, is to make sure that the person to your right has had a chance to cut the cards. Always cut towards the dealer, and then you deal left to right. Another important thing is to make sure that you deal correctly. You flip a card,
It's a penalty.
it's a penalty, you start all over again. In this case, we'll keep going. Make sure that everybody has the same number of cards, and when you've got that done, Steve, it's time to start betting.
So
Yeah.
but as we go into that, we don't burn a card in our group, but I think
No,
a
we
lot
don't.
of groups still
Some
do
people
that.
That's
do.
really-
It's really house rules. It's
And
up,
it's
up to
sometimes
you.
more important than Texas Hold'em if you're
Right.
playing that particular game.
Right.
The key element as a dealer is to control the betting process, and it can be somewhat challenging depending on the pace of the game. But the important thing is, you're going to have guys that are checking or are opting not to start a bet. Other guys will raise throughout the sequence of cards, and again, as dealer, you've got to control that process. That's really important. And if it's moving too fast, don't hesitate to ask the other guys around the table, where we are in terms of the betting. Because, again, if there's three raises on any sequence of cards, it's important to remember who owes what, and don't start another round of betting or dealing the cards until you're whole with that past sequence of cards. So,
And you're the dealer's the steward of the house rules, right? So we have a 3 raise limit is one of the rules that we
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
So it's up to the dealer to really know where we are in that.
exactly. So, real important there. At the end of the night, or at the end of the game, if it's a split pot game, typically what you want to do is just stack up the two rows of chips by color denomination, okay? And we'll just assume that's there. And one guy who went high takes one stack. The other guy playing low takes the other stack. If there's an odd chip,
There's an odd chip.
the guy that went high always takes the odd chip in our
Right.
game. So
That's the way.
so that's the way that works. And, while that process is happening, the next guy in sequence to the left should be shuffling the cards and getting ready to play the next game. So that's essentially the role of the dealer. Do spend some time on our site, ultimatehomepoker.com. There's a wealth of knowledge there. We've got an actual article on the role of the dealer, among other things. There's a lot of videos on YouTube. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Google+. Take the time to learn the game of poker and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. What do you got, fellas?
Oh, I got a good one here.